And Brother Marvin, you could just mute your mic.
I can mute it. Hold
Yeah,
on.
it's muted.
Um.
I can mute it for you. It's all good.
Okay. So
All
I'm
right.
transferring from my phone to my tablet.
I got you. No problem. All right. So, all right, Brother Chris, if we want to just start off reading verses 1 to 3, we go ahead and kick this thing off.
Now before the feast of the Passover,
Mm-hmm.
when Jesus knew that his hour was come that he should depart of this world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end.
Mm-hmm.
And supper being ended, the devil having now put it in the heart of Judas Iscariot,
Mm.
Simon's son, to betray him. Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was come from God and went to God.
So, in these verses here, you see Yahushua, he knew what was up, right? So he knew he was about to die. He knew he knew that his mission, what he came to fulfill when he came down, is about to be accomplished and fulfilled. Right? He knew his time was short, and he was about to go back to his father and sit on the right hand of his father. But it's also like Moses. This is also going back to Moses as well, because Moses knew his time was up as well. And how do we know that? Well, let's go over, turn back to your books and turn to Deuteronomy 31 and 14 and read that scripture for me. Again, that's Deuteronomy 31 in verse 14. We're going to see that Moses also, this is a harken back to Moses as well. He knew that his time was short and it was about to end.
And the Lord said unto Moses, behold, thy days approach that thou must die.
Mm.
Call Joshua and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may. And Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation.
But you see, Yahushua here, so just like Moses knew he was about to die, and that's got to be heavy, fam. That's got to be real heavy. Creator of the earth, your creator telling you, hey, you about to die. That's heavy. But Moses, he still did what the Most High told him to do, just like Yahushua is doing the exact same thing. He knew he was about to die, but yet he still carried out his word, his mission with utmost obedience. And that is how we must be, fam. Even though we don't know exactly when we gonna die, when our time is up, we continue to walk this walk. We continue to be in this walk and follow the words of the Most High with utmost obedience and humility. So Jesus here, he knew his death was imminent and he loved his disciples even to the end. Now, this is also the same kind of enduring love that was spoken about in Jeremiah as well. If we go over to Jeremiah 31 and read verse 3, you will see that the Most High loved Israel with the exact same love. Now, obviously, we know that Yahushua is this same person that's going to be talking in Jeremiah 31. So it kind of shows you just how much he loved his people, despite us always giving him a hard time. Again, that's Jeremiah 31 and read verse 3 for me.
The Lord hath appeared of old unto me, saying, yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore, with loving kindness have I drawn thee.
That right there, family. He's talking to Israel. That's who he loves. No disrespect to the other nations. I know he created them, but his covenant is only with one people. And other people, they need to understand this. But everybody, they jealous. The other nations, they jealous. That's why they hate us. They jealous of this love because the Most High has this love. He chose us out of all the people in the earth. He could have easily chose himself other people. No doubt about it. But he didn't do that. He chose us. We are his covenant people. We are the ones whom he loves. So this is why we must follow him, because he has mercy for us. But only if you follow what he says. Now we're talking about the devil. He went into the heart of Judas here. So we know Judas is going to be the one that's going to ultimately betray the Most High. One of the worst betrayals in the history of the world. So during his last meal, Satan came and he already messed with the heart of Judas, pushing him to betray the Mashiach. And now this also echoes back to what happened to David as well. And if we go to 1 Chronicles, chapter 21 and read verse 1, Satan messed with David as well. Again, that's 1 Chronicles 21 in verse 1.
And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel.
So just like Satan influenced David to disobedience, he's now influencing at this time Judas to one of the worst acts, like I said, of betrayal in the history of the world, right here. Now, I don't want to be Judas on Judgment Day, that's for sure. Definitely don't want to be him. But this is what the devil does. So we must stand firm and steadfast in this word so the devil cannot get you to betray and come away from this walk and end up like Judas and so many others who have been, I guess you can say, influenced to disobedience. Now, Yahushua, in verse 3, he was totally aware of his divine mission and his divine origin. He knew he came from the Father, and he was going back to the Father. And he knew this, but the people, they didn't understand, they didn't know. So he had to, that's why he did a lot of these works, or all these works, was because he wanted to show them that he came from the Father. He was the Messiah that they was looking for. But again, as we know, a lot of our people did not even believe him. Despite all the signs, all the miracles that he did, they still didn't believe. So just like he came from the Most High, from his daddy, and he was going back to his daddy, this is reminiscent of Job 1 and 21. If we go to Job 1 and 21, Job mentions this circle of life, if you want to call it. He comes from the Father and he's going back to the Father. The circle of life, like they talked about in the Lion King. Now read about it here in Job 1 and 21.
And said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
So that, my family, right there, that's what everybody's finna go to. Everybody is going the way of the dodo bird. We all gonna die, fam. But while we living, we praise the Most High. That's what we do. We praise him, we follow his word, and we complete the mission. That's what he got us here for. That's why he gave you the understanding. That's why he woke you up out of the darkness, for you to fulfill your mission, just like Yahushua did. Now, we may not know when our end may be, and that's up to the Most High if he ever reveals that to you. But we're not worried about the end. We're worried about what we're doing now, what you are doing in this present moment. Is your actions lining up with the scriptures, or you are doing something else that goes against what the Most High has told you? There's only two paths, family. You either following the Most High or you're not. There is no in between, no middle ground, no fence straddling over here. Most High does not like lukewarm people. Y'all know this. You either for him or you against him. And that's what Yahushua is trying to show us here by going through his mission, knowing he's about to go to the cross, get nailed up, get beaten, all kind of things. He's about to go through all of this tribulation. He's showing us, even despite going through all those things, he never wavered from the truth. He never wavered from his mission. And that is what he's trying to get us to understand as we read about his life, as we read through this John. We get to understand about him, about what he came to do, how he did it, the amount of faith he had. He came to be an example, as you're going to see later on in this chapter. He's going to tell you about that. So what do we take away from these first three chapters, from these first three verses? Well, let's see. Basically tell us, even when life gets tough, even when you see that storm coming, and we know that storm, that's trouble, that's trials, that's tribulation, you hold on to your faith and you hold on to love. So Yahusha knew he was about to be betrayed and killed, but he didn't let that stop him from what? Loving his disciples till the end. And just like Yahusha held on to his faith in the Most High's plan, we need to do the same, even today in 2023. So no matter what life throws at us, remember that love and faith can carry us through. So we got to keep our eyes on the prize and keep our eyes on the Most High. That's what these three verses, little small verses, tell us. So as we move on in John, we go to just two more verses, 4 and 5. Now we're going to see what Yahusha's got, what lesson that the Most High is finna teach his disciples in this chapter. We're finna get to the meat of it. Whenever you're ready, brother.
He riseth from supper and laid aside his garments and took a towel and girded himself. After that, he poureth water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherein he was girded.
So it's a powerful scene, fam. Powerful scene. Yahusha, he's the son of the Father. He is divinity. He created the whole earth. He's stepping away from the table. He stripped off his clothes and he wrapped a towel around his waist. And it's a symbolic, if we go to Leviticus 16 and 4 as well, to show you how this mimicked or mirrored what the high priest had to do. Because remember, Yahusha is our high priest, correct? So whatever the Levitical priests, the high priests of the Levitical priesthood did, is what Yahusha, they pointed towards him and what he is going to accomplish. So let's go to Leviticus 16 and 4 and watch what Levitical priest, high priest, had to do.
He should put on the holy linen coat, and he shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh, and shall be girded with a linen girdle, and with the linen mitre shall he be attired. These are holy garments. Therefore shall he wash his feet, wash his flesh in water, and so put them on.
So just like this high priest, he had to wear simple linen garments before entering the Holy of Holies on the Day of Atonement. That's what this Leviticus 16 is about, that Day of Atonement here. Yahusha is preparing to perform a service as well. And in doing so, Yahusha is going to show what? Humility and servant leadership. Those are the lessons that he is about to teach his disciples. And also, these are lessons that we ourselves can apply to our daily lives. Just because you are a leader, just because the Most High has put me in charge of this little congregation, he has me to be the teacher. Guess what? That don't make me no big and bad person. I ain't big and bad. I ain't top dog. Because as the Most High is going to show you in this chapter, if you're going to be the leader, you going to have to serve. These are the lessons he's going to teach in this particular chapter. This is why this is a very powerful chapter. Maybe short, but it gets straight to the point, and it's very, very powerful. Right? So now Yahusha, he starts washing his disciples' feet. And if you look at this carnally, you're looking at it, this guy is the creator of the world. He's their Lord and their master. This ain't no job for a king or master. This is a servant's job, the lowest of the low. But here's Yahusha, the Mashiach, the creator of the world, doing it with his own hands. That's humility, family. He's teaching a very important lesson. It's like when the Most High told Moses to take off his sandals in Exodus because he was on holy ground. Here, Yahusha is making the act of foot washing holy by his own humble service. Are you humble to do this, family? Are you too big and bad to get on your hands and knees and wash your brother's feet? This is what he's teaching. A lot of our people today, a lot of these pastors, a lot of these celebrities, these high-ranking Israelites in this Babylonian society, they have forgotten this aspect here. They have gotten too big for their britches, as the saying goes. They don't think they need to serve the people anymore. They get a couple of zeros behind their bank account. In their bank account, they get a couple of more zeros than the average Joe, and they think they're big and bad, high and mighty, that they don't have to get on their hands and knees and serve their people. But here you got the Most High, the big dog, the Son of the living God, the Father, our King, our Messiah, on his hands and knees like a servant, and he's washing the feet of his disciples. Come on. Can y'all do this? Can you wash the feet of your brother? Can you wash the feet of your sister? Now, this ain't all about foot washing. He's just using this as a symbolism, right? He's showing you that I ain't too big to serve. So what does these two verses mean for us today here in 2023? Well, let's name it. All about humility. That's the biggest thing that our people, that's the biggest thing that we do not have in our community. Just look at most of the Israelites. Just look at your brothers. Look at your sisters. Proud. Very proud. Too much pride. But as the temptation said, we ain't too proud to beg. I ain't too proud to beg the Most High for nothing. Get on my hands and knees and beg him and be humble, because that's the only way he gonna bless you. He don't look at the proud. Didn't they say in the scriptures that the meek shall inherit the earth? I don't see no pride in there. You gotta lower yourself before the Most High can deal with you. Just like he did with me. I was probably one of the most arrogant people before I came in this truth. You can ask my parents about that. Arrogant. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing. But when I got in this truth, Most High made sure I knew he was the boss. And I was just a pound of clay that he fashioned out of the dirt. And now I'm humble. This is what the Most High does. You come into this truth, he gonna knock you down a peg. He gonna make sure you know who the boss is. He gonna make sure you know what your place is. And we must continually acknowledge that place each and every day we wake up. Because that flesh that you in right now, that flesh is where that pride comes from. So you got to check yourself every day. Did that song say check yourself before you wreck yourself? That's what it's talking about. Check that pride at the door before the Most High hurt you. This is what Jesus is teaching by washing the feet of his disciples here. And we're going to learn more. He's going to tell you right out of his own mouth what he's trying to teach him. What all of this means ultimately as we move down in John. So Yahusha, even though he was God, he didn't act superior or untouchable. He got down and dirty, washing his disciples' feet. In the same way, we should be ready to serve others, preferably our brothers and sisters. But even then, other people as well does not mean you can't serve heathen as well. and help them, because the Most High, he can use anybody to come and try to test you, whether it's a person of another nation or your own brother or sister. You got to be ready to serve others. The Most High served that heathen when she showed that faith. He healed her daughter. So we can't be above serving. This is what it's all about. No matter the status or position. It's not about being on top. It's about lifting others up. The poor, the needy, the fatherless, the widows, those who can't help themselves. You help them. You reach them up and put them in and get them to the level that you're at. That's what Yahushua's trying to teach us. That's the same kind of leadership Yahushua's trying to teach us here. And that's the kind we should strive for. So we got to stay humble and we got to stay serving. That's what this whole thing is about. Humility and servitude. No matter if you're a CEO, don't matter. You ain't too big to serve. This is why the world is the way it is. These CEOs, they don't care about nobody but themselves. They're not there to serve the people. Now, they may have humble beginnings, but as soon as they get that power, as soon as they get that money, that influence, it all goes to their head. And all of a sudden, they go away from serving the people. Now they expect the people to serve them. And this is why you have all these people moaning and groaning at their jobs, because the people who control the jobs, the people who own the jobs, they couldn't give a wood nickel about you. They don't care about you. But you see, if they were doing what Yahushua did here, the world would be a better place. But that's the way the world's going to be when the Most High gets back. So until then, we got to stay our own lane. We got to endure, be patient. The Most High knows what he's doing. You stay on the grind, you stay humble, and you serve who you can. This is what these two verses are telling us. Or so as we move down John 13, we're going to go and we're going to read verses 6 through 8.
Then cometh he to Simon Peter, and Peter saith unto him, Lord, dost thou wash my feet?
What?
Jesus answered and said unto him, What I do thou knowest not know, but thou shalt know hereafter. Peter said unto him, Thou shalt never wash my feet. Jesus answered, If I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me.
Peter, like always, speaks up. He's shocked. You got the creator, the Lord, the master, washing my feet. No, can't be. Can't be. He don't get why the Most High, his teacher, his master, is doing a servant's job. You don't get it. It's like when the Most High told Abraham he was going to have a son in his old age. Y'all remember that? Let's go read in Genesis 17 and 17 to refresh your memory. After the Most High said he's going to have a son in his old age, look how Abraham reacted here. Same way Peter kind of reacted. Whenever you're ready, brother.
All right. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear?
So he laughed. Abraham laughed because he couldn't understand the Most High's plan. Remember, the Most High don't reveal all to us. He may give you bits and pieces, but he don't reveal the whole thing to you unless that's what he wants to do. So when you hear something shocking, as Abraham heard, most of us gonna laugh because we see the whole thing carnally. Same thing with Peter. He sees Yahushua washing his feet. He couldn't believe it. He didn't know the spiritual aspects of what Yahushua was trying to teach him, because we were still carnal at this time. Remember, we didn't get the Holy Spirit yet. The Holy Spirit is what gave us this understanding that we have today. They didn't have that yet. But as you're going to see with him, Yahusha is going to tell you. He's going to tell him. Right? He tell him straight up, if he does not let Yahusha serve him, he can't be a part of his crew. He can't be a part of this walk. Straight up tell him. Straight up like, hey, if I don't wash you, you got no share with me. I got to do this. I got to show you how to be humble. I got to show you. I got to cleanse you. Because remember, in Ezekiel, I believe it's 36 and 25. If I'm right, let me see. 36 and 25. Yes, let's go read that. Watch this. He's got to wash you. Why does he have to wash you? Let's read Ezekiel 36 and 25 to find out why he had to wash Peter. Go ahead.
Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean.
Yes.
From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you.
That's why he had to clean him. Peter didn't understand it. He's asked to clean you. But how does he clean you? Remember, this is all symbolism. This water he's cleaning them with, it's the word. That's how you cleanse yourself. It's this word. It's not about feet washing, fam. It's deeper than that. The word is how he cleanses you. And he's washing his feet. Why? Because we have to walk this path, right? You got to keep your feet clean. That's why he washes feet. And as we go on to the next verses, 9 and 10, watch this.
Simon Peter saith unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. Jesus said unto him, He that is washeth needeth not save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. And ye are clean, but not all.
See, Peter, being Peter again, swings to the other extreme. Okay, well, you're going to wash my feet? Well, wash all of me then. Now you want a full bath. But Yahusha says that's not necessary. Why? Because those who are clean only need their feet washed. Remember, we walking on this path, right? This is how we walking. So only our feet need to be clean because we got to walk on this path. That's what this whole thing symbolizes, fam. It's for you walking on this path. That's why Yahusha is washing their feet only. Let's go to Psalm 51 and 10 and see what all of this really symbolizes. David said it perfectly in Psalm 51 in verse 10. Watch.
Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me.
That's the whole thing of washing the feet. Because the Most High is creating in you a clean heart, as we read in Ezekiel 36:25. He's going to sprinkle you, and you shall be clean. Because your old heart was dirty, was filthy. Why? Because of the idols you served. We all had dirty hearts, fam. Every last one of us, before we came into this truth, we all had dirty, dirty, dirty hearts. And with the word of the Most High, this book, he sprinkled it on us, and we got a clean heart, as David just told you. This is what the whole feet washing is about. Creating a clean heart, a renewed spirit inside you. Why? So you can do what? So you can do what? Let's go back to Ezekiel 36. Why is he going to do this? Why does he want to put a whole new spirit in us? Let's go to 36 and read 27. This is why he wants to create a new clean heart in you. Right here. Whenever you're ready, brother.
Verse 27, and I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them.
That is why he's cleaning you. Because when you were filthy, you did not clean. You did not keep the statutes. You did not do his judgments. You did not do any of that. None of us did. So when he cleans you, Now you get to what? Now you get to walk in this. See, cause you to walk. How do you walk? You use your feet. Symbolized by Yahushua washing the feet of his disciples. Because now you get to walk in his statutes with this new heart, this new spirit, and you will do them. That is what Yahushua trying to get to you. It doesn't mean washing feet. This is what most people think. They see it. Oh, he just washing feet. This is what it means. What I just told you. It's creating a new spirit in you so you can walk in his statutes and keep his judgments. Because didn't he say himself, if you love me, keep my commandments. Let's continue, though. Let's continue. We already sit here and go to verse 11.
Stand by. For he knew who should betray him. Therefore, said he, ye are not all clean.
Yahushua knew what was up. We talking about Judas here. He's saying this, not all clean, and that's spiritually. He's talking about spiritually. It's the same thing if you go to Psalm 44 and 21. How does he know that we ain't clean? Well, he tells you right here in Psalm 44:21.
Let God search this out, for he knoweth the secrets of the heart.
That's how he knows you're not clean. Right there. That's how he knows. He can see all your thoughts. He knows what you're going to do. He can see it all, family. He can see it all. You can't hide anything from him. Yahushua knew what was in the heart of Judas. He knew this. That's why he's saying this. And he's going to tell you why he's saying this. Why he's putting this stuff out in front of them right now. He's going to tell you. So what's this mean for us today? These couple of verses. First off, we need to let Yahushua serve us. We need to accept his love. We need to accept his sacrifice. And we sure need to accept his cleansing. Because if you don't get that, then he said, as he said, you have no share in him. You're going to stay filthy like Judas. And when you're filthy and you die in that filthiness, there ain't nowhere you're going but the lake of fire. So you got to allow Yahushua to do these things for you. Or else you're not one of his sheep that he's going to lead to green pastures and allow to lie down and be safe. You ain't going to be one of them. You're not going to be a part of his remnant. You are going to be the other children cast into outer darkness, outside the kingdom, symbolized by the lake of fire. You're going to burn. We can't be too proud to accept help, even from the King of Kings. That's our problem. We're too proud to beg. But we don't need, we ain't too proud. We ain't too big and bad to get on your hands and knees and pray to your Father. Don't matter if you're a homeless person on the street or the President of the United States. You ain't too proud to beg. To be humble. To be obedient. To serve. And allow Yahushua to serve. And also we need to keep our hearts clean. How do we keep our hearts clean? We got to stay in this word. You got to read it daily. You got to clean yourself off of it. You got to clean yourself every day. You got to be in this word every day. This is your cleaning. It's like how we take a shower every day, right? Physically. To cleanse all, to get rid of the physical dirt. It is by reading this book that we shower our spirit from that spiritual dirt. A lot of people taking showers outwardly, but they ain't taking showers inwardly. You can't just be clean on the outside. That's what the Pharisees did. They had the big old robes on and the fancy clothes and everything. They looked holy on the outside, but inside they were full of what? Dead man's bones. Because they were not cleansing the inside where it counts. That's what Yahushua is looking at. He's looking at your heart. He don't care about what's out there on the physical. He's looking at what you're doing inside your heart. Are you clean in your heart? Are you doing what he tell you to do? Are you following the commandments? Are you helping your brothers and sisters? Are you serving them? Are you humble? It's not about outward status. That's what the world wants you to think and wants you to focus on. But the Most High wants you to focus on inside. That is what counts. That is how he judges you. So this is how you check yourself. You got to make sure your inside is clean more than your outside. A lot of people cleaning themselves all the time. A lot of people take 2, 3, 4 showers a day, but their spirit is dirty, funky before the Most High Yah. So we have to get out of that carnal thinking, and we have to open up our spiritual eyes and our spiritual ears. And this is what this whole book of John is trying to get us to do. Turn from the physical and turn inward to the spiritual. That's how you're going to get the big picture of this whole book. This whole Bible. You can read it all you want to. Pastors out there been reading this whole book 60 years. They still don't know what it means. But you who reads the scriptures, you who cleanses their spirit, who focuses on inside change, inward change, you are showered with the wisdom from the Most High. Because he looks upon those with a contrite heart and a humble spirit. That's who he is paying attention to. That is who he's giving his wisdom to. He ain't giving it to the wise people of the earth. He ain't giving it to the top people, the proud. He ain't giving it to them. He's giving it to the lowly people, people like me and you. That's who he's giving his whole knowledge to. That's what Yahushua's trying to get us to understand with this feet washing ritual that he's doing. That's what he's getting us to understand. So as we keep going back to John, and we read verses 12 through 14, keeping more, learning more about what he's doing here.
So after he had washed their feet and
Yes.
had taken his garments, he was set down again, and he said unto them, now ye what I have done to you. No, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Ye call me master and Lord, and ye say, well, for so am I. If I then, your Lord and master, have washed your feet, ye also are to wash one another's feet.
That's the big one right there. If I'm the big dog, the alpha man, Yahushua, if I wash your feet, what does that say what you got to do? Since you following me and you're doing as I say, I'm becoming an example for you to do. Now you got to be in service to your brothers, to your sisters. You got to love one another. That is what he's teaching us. Reminding them that even though he's their teacher and their Lord, he served them. It's the exact same way when the Most High appeared to Solomon. Let's read about this in 1 Kings 3 and 5. Watch this. 1 Kings 3 and 5, the Most High appears to Solomon.
In Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, ask what I shall give thee.
So Solomon, if you know from the rest of the book here, what does he ask for? Does he ask for money? Does he ask for power? Does he ask for something carnal?
Wisdom.
No, he asked for wisdom. Correct. That's what he asked for. The Most High granted it because he didn't ask for wealth or power. So Yahushua is teaching his disciples that true leadership is about serving and not being served. That's what's backwards in the world today. All these leaders are looking for people to idolize them, bowing down to them, not knowing that they're the servant. Isn't that what they call cops? Public servants? Are these cops serving the public nowadays, or are they just doing what they want to do nowadays? Now, of course, not all the cops are bad. That is not what I am saying. But there is a handful of them that are doing their own thing, and they expect you, the public, to serve them, to be at their beck and call, to do whatever they tell you to do. That is backwards. You are there to serve them, not the other way around. That's why this world is in chaos and turmoil today. It's because of this. And this is why Yahushua wants us to learn this. Because once you learn how to serve, then the Most High, he can deal with you. You have to humble yourself first before the Most High deals with you. That's the order. You don't deal with proud people. So in verses 15 and 16 here, Yahushua is going to tell you why he's doing this. Back in John 13. Read verses 15 and 16 for me.
Okay. For I have given you an example that ye should do as I have done to you. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him.
So your servant is not greater than his master. That means you're going to have to do what I did. We got to emulate Christ. That is what he's telling you. Just like he was not bigger than his father, he had to obey what his father had to do. We got to obey what he did. So we got to follow his example. Straight up telling them, follow my example. He's saying that if he, their master, can serve, then they, his disciples, should also serve. It's also like what Paul wrote in Ephesians. And let's go read it. Let's go to Ephesians 5, 1 and 2. Paul shows us how we're supposed to act, how we're supposed to be in this truth.
Be ye therefore followers of God, as dear children, and walk in love, as Christ also hath loved us, and hath given himself for us as an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet smelling savor.
So Yahushua setting the standard for his disciples and for us, even here in 2023. Love, love, love. That's what all of this boils down to. The servants, the serving, the humility is love for each other. Who else gonna love us, fam? These nations ain't lining up to love you. We can see that all the time. Look how much they hate us. They tell it openly nowadays. So who else we got but each other? That's why he's telling us to love, because he knew he was going to put us in this captivity and that all we going to have is each other. But we can't love one another because we too busy at each other's throats. We're too busy cutting each other down to try to make it in the society. We're too busy being envious of what another brother got, coveting what another person has, being jealous of a gift that the Most High gave them instead of being content with whatever the Most High gave them. We always want more. This greed, this pride has destroyed us as a people. We can't come together because of it. Nobody wants to serve one another in this Israelite community. Nobody, even in the truth, some people don't want to serve. Some people think they got all the answers. Some people think they're big and bad because they got more followers than the next person. And then you got people who don't got enough followers looking at other people who got more followers, envying them. They can't truly love somebody if you're envious of somebody else. You can't do that. So we got to cut it out. We have to cut it out. And this is what Yahushua's trying to tell his disciples. This is what he's trying to get into our thick skulls, our stiff necks. He's trying to tell us, love each other as I have loved you. That's what he's trying to tell us. And we wrap it up with 17 right here for these couple of verses here. We read verse 17.
If ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them.
Blessed. You are blessed if you do them. Dropping the ultimate wisdom. Hey, you can silence your phone, brother. Dropping the ultimate wisdom. Knowing ain't enough. You got to do it. You can't just sit on knowledge. You can't sit on wisdom. You can't sit on it. Most High gave you a commandment. You can't just hear it. You got to do it. What does Brother James tell us? Well, let's go see. Let's go to James chapter 1 and read verse 22. Watch what James tells us.
But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
You got to do it. 1 + 1 = 2. You hear it? Then you got to do it. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's no middle ground with that. You hear the word, you got to do the word. Or else you're going to deceive yourself. Yahushua is saying blessing comes from putting that knowledge that you get into action. Action words. Yah's about action. You can't just sit on it. You got to do it. Most High not going to do everything for you. He wants you to put forth effort to do it so he can bless you, as we see here in verse 17. But he can't bless you if you ain't doing nothing. Faith without works is dead. Brother James said that too. The Most High ain't going to do everything for you. Most High don't like lazy people. You got to get down and dirty, just like he did, and wash the feet of the disciples. You must be down. You must get down. You must be dirty. You got to do it. You got to get down to get these blessings. So what does it mean for us today? What Yahushua was talking about. We got to serve like Yahushua served. Don't just talk about it. We got to be about it. Right? That's another saying. And we also got to remember that true leadership ain't about bossing people around. This is what's wrong with leadership today. You get somebody gets into a leadership position, first thing they want to do, they want to boss people around. Just because they got some power under their belt now, they feel it's time to lay it on the other people below them. Step on the backs of the people. No. It's about getting your hands dirty, and you got to serve the others. You got to serve your brothers and sisters. They hungry, feed them. They thirsty, give them something to drink. They naked, clothe them. That's what it means. Stop being selfish. Or the Most High will take all your stuff away from you. Just as he takes it away from all these other rich people who think they're above everything, Most High takes all their riches away. I mean, what you going to do when you die? Can't take that money with you where you going. And you got to stand in front of the living God as he is judging you for your works that you did while you was alive. That money ain't going to help you. You can't bribe God. So if you really want to follow Yahusha, this is what he's saying. If you really want to follow him, you got to get your towel ready. You gotta get your towel ready, baby. You gotta serve. That's what the ultimate lesson. Time to wash some feet. That's what we got to do. You see a brother or sister in need, help them. Don't turn your nose up at them. Help them. As the Most High helps you, you help your people. Don't hoard your money. Don't hoard all your stuff. Help your people. Because if you do that, blessed are you if you do them. Look at Job. He had a whole bunch. He went through some things. And then what happened after he went through some things? The Most High gave him double. You don't think the Most High gonna give you some more money? You don't think the Most High can get you some more money? He created the damn thing. You don't think he could give you some more money? So what? You got to get somebody $20. He can't give you 40. He can't give you 50, 60, 70, 80, 100. Don't worry about the small stuff. Let the Most High worry about that. You worry about the big stuff. Serving your brothers and sisters. Let him take care of the small stuff. So what? You out $40. You gave $40 to one of your brothers on the street. So what? The Most High could turn around and give you 4,000 if he want to. That is the big lesson. He is trying to get you to understand. What we see, feet washing. All we see is him washing feet. But I just gave you the spiritual understanding of what it all meant. It's bigger things. This whole book is spiritual. Don't read it that way. Don't read it physically. Read it spiritually. Use that spirit. Use that understanding that the Most High gave you. Don't sit there and listen to other people who don't got the spiritual eyes, because they're just going to hold you back. You read the book for yourself. Pray to the Most High for wisdom. Pray to the Most High for knowledge. Pray to the Most High for understanding. He going to give it to you if he see you are making an effort. Doers of the word, not hearers only. We just read that in James, remember? That's what it's all about, family. As we move on, we go down to 18 through 20. We're going to read those verses.
I speak not of you all.
Mm-hmm.
I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture may be fulfilled. He that eateth bread with me hath lifted up his heel against me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I tell you before it come, that when it is to come to pass, ye may believe that I am he. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that receiveth whomsoever I send receiveth me. And he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me.
So Yahusha starts off by saying he ain't talking about all the disciples. We all know he ain't talking about Judas. He knows who he's chosen. And he's foreshadowing Judas's betrayal. Now he quotes a pretty important scripture. Let's go to Psalm 41:9. That's where he's quoting this from. People keep saying the New Testament is all new stuff. Nope. Yahusha again references another Old Testament scripture. Psalm 41:9. Whenever you're ready, brother.
Yea, mine own familiar friend, in whom I trusted, which did eat of my bread, hath lifted up his heel against me.
Just like David was betrayed by a close friend, Yahusha too is about to be betrayed by one of his own. Now, I know a lot of y'all know what betrayal feels like. I know. I've been betrayed, and I'm pretty sure all of y'all have been betrayed by somebody close to you. If you've been betrayed by somebody that is close to you, a close friend, whether it be mama, daddy, sister, brother, grandma, granddad, cousin, uncle, auntie, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, boss, co-workers. If you've been betrayed by any of those people, put 100 in the chat. Put a 100 in the chat if you've been betrayed by any one of those people. 100. I'm saying it out loud. 100. We've all been betrayed, family. Didn't Most High just tell us? You ain't no servant. You know, the servant isn't greater than the master. If I've been betrayed, you gonna be betrayed. We've all been betrayed. We all know that feeling. Yahusha knows what it feels like. Even though he knew Judas was going to do it, still made him feel some type of way. And I know y'all felt some type of way when y'all got betrayed. This is supposed to be my brother. This is supposed to be my sister. But yet they did this on me. They snitched on me. They ratted me out over nonsense. Whether it be envy, jealousy, covetousness, anything. They ratted me out to get to get a one up on me. They have done these things to me. That, my family, is exactly what Yahusha is about to go through. And he's about to explain it to his disciples. Now, they have no idea what he's talking about, but he's going to let them know. He's going to let them know. So Yahusha, he's giving them a heads up about what's about to go down. And he's doing that, so when it happens, what? They'll believe he is who he says he is. And who is Yahusha been saying he is this entire book of John? I am the Son of God. I am the Son. I am the Son of the one who sent me, the Father. He's been saying it all throughout John. I am he who you looking for. I am him. I'm the Messiah that you all looking for. I am me. It's me. It's me. That's why he's telling these things before time. So when it happens, they're going to be like, oh, I get it. He is who he says he is. It makes sense. It's also like in Isaiah 46 and 10. Let's go read Isaiah 46 and 10 on how we know Yahusha. It's why he's telling them these things before they happen. He told you back here in Isaiah 46 and 10 why he does it.
Declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
He knows. Yahusha, just like his father, knows the beginning and the end. And he's trying to prepare his disciples for what's coming. So finally, in verse 20, he drops some knowledge about what? Representation. If you receive someone Yahusha sends, then you're receiving him. Right? Because Yahusha will send people to you. Right? He sent all y'all here, hasn't he? I didn't go out seeking. You guys came. Yahusha made all of this happen. And so it was up to me to receive every last one of you. And by receiving you guys, I receive him. And for us, if we receive Yahusha, then we receive his Father. It's the same thing. Let's go to Matthew 10 and 14. Where Yahusha says the exact same thing over there. Matthew 10 and 40. I'm sorry, 10 and 40.
He that receiveth you receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me.
Same exact language, same words he's telling his disciples right there in John 13 and 20. Yahusha is teaching his disciples about the chain of what? Divine authority and representation. So what's the 401 for us today? What is this teaching us? What does these particular scriptures here, 18 through 20, what is that teaching us? What kind of lessons do we glean from this? Well, first, we got to be on guard, right? Betrayal can come from those closest to us. So now that we have this spiritual discernment, now that we're in this truth, now we can discern who we let in our inner circle and who we keep out. That is how you be on guard, spiritually discerning, watching their actions. Somebody says they're your brother, somebody says they're your sister. You watch them and you make sure that they're your brother and sister. How? By seeing the fruit that they bear. You watch what they do, you don't listen to what they say, because anybody can lie. So even Yahushua was betrayed. So we're in good company. So it's going to happen to us. And second, we got to trust in Yahushua's foreknowledge. He knows the end from the beginning, just as we read in Isaiah 46:10. And he got you. So no matter what things you're going through today or tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, next decade, whatever you end up going through, whatever trial and tribulation that the Most High places in front of you, you know he got you. You do not let that trial, you do not let that tribulation sway you to the left or sway you to the right. You do not allow it to put doubt into your spirit. You do not allow that. You stay 10 toes down for this truth, and you walk it by keeping your feet clean, as Yahushua did for his disciples. And how do you keep your feet clean? This word. That is how you be on guard, and that is how you trust in his foreknowledge. It's by reading his word. And lastly, third, you also remember that when you receive someone that's sent by Yahushua, that you receiving Yahushua himself. So we got to be welcoming to our brothers and sisters. We got to be loving. And lastly, we got to be accepting. Because you never know who the Most High going to send your way. So we always got to have our doors open to receive whomever that Yahushua sends your way. That's the Jesus way. That's what we must be like. That's what he's trying to teach us here. Stop judging by the outward appearance. You look at the fruits that they bear. You look at how they live. Someone that loves the Most High is going to live a certain way. Someone that hates the Most High is going to live a certain way, and you watch it. And you be on guard. So that way you don't end up with a betrayal. That's what Yahushua's trying to tell us. Stay on guard. That's his way. That's his way of teaching us, family. We got to stay on guard. So as we go down, we're going to read verses 21 through 23.
When Jesus had thus said, he was troubled in spirit and testified and said, verily, verily, I say unto you that one of you shall betray me. Then the disciples looked one on another, doubting of whom he spake. Now there was a leaning on Jesus' bosom, one of his disciples whom Jesus loved.
So check it. Yahushua, he's there. After he just washed their feet and everything, now they just chilling. They relax. Now he's troubling his spirit because he knows it's about to happen. Right? When you got betrayed, didn't that trouble you? It troubled me. You get that feeling in the pit of your stomach. It don't sit right with you. And it's the same thing happening to Yahushua himself. Even though he knew it was going to happen. Right? That's like when you go to one of your friends who ain't loyal, but you got to play it cool. So it's a metaphor as well, this whole thing, what he's saying. For when things are all good on the surface, but deep down, there's some serious distrust and betrayal brewing. And that's because, like I said, and this is why you have to be on guard. so you know who's for you and who's not for you. Remember when Judas sold out Yahusha for 30 pieces of silver? Let's read about it. Let's go to Matthew 26 and 15. Matthew 26 and 15. Let's read about it.
Is it Matthew what?
Matthew 26, 15.
26, 15. And said unto them, what will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver.
30 pieces of silver. But that's a reference to a earlier scripture back where? In the New Testament, in the Old Testament, actually. Watch this. Let's go to Zechariah 11 and 12. No, exactly. Zechariah 11, 12, and 13. Zechariah chapter 11, verses 12 and 13.
And I said unto them, if ye think good, give me my price. And if not, forbear. So they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver.
Uh-oh.
And the Lord said unto me, cast it unto the potter, a goodly price that I was priced at of them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver and cast them to the potter in the house of the Lord.
Amazing prophecy about how Judas was going to do the same thing. It's all written, fam. This whole book interconnects with one another. Most people probably don't even know about this prophecy. But it was there showing you that Judas was going to do it. That's who it was foreshadowing right there. My price. Because remember who's talking here? The Lord talking. Jesus himself's talking. That was his price for betrayal for Judas. 30 pieces of silver. That's some street level treachery right there. Getting snitched on by your own people, your own crew. That's what Judas did. Betrayed all of them. Right underneath the nose. But of course, Yahusha knew what he was doing. The other disciples didn't know what he was doing behind their back. But Yahusha knew the treachery that Judas was doing. And he gonna get up in his face about it. So let's go back to John 13 and read 24 to 26. Watch this.
Simon Peter therefore beckoned to him that he should ask who it should be of whom he spake.
Mm-hmm.
He then, lying on Jesus' breast, said unto him, Lord, who is it? Jesus answered, it is, to whom I shall give a sop, when I have dipped it. And when he dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon.
Right there. Straight up told him. Didn't even hide it. Well, it's whoever I get his bread to. Watch this. Gave it right on over to Judas. Being straight up. Jesus did not even hide it. Doesn't even need to. This is what it's all about. Showing a harsh revelation of the snake in the grass. They didn't know. I'm pretty sure they were surprised at Judas here. He's supposed to be a disciple. He's supposed to be following the Most High. But yet this dude behind their back about to betray him. Now, of course, it's all for prophecy. It's all so the scriptures need to be fulfilled. But even then, it still hurts. It still hurts. That's why Yahushua was troubled. He knew it had to be done, but still it hurt. Because this was supposed to be his brother. This is supposed to be somebody that was close to him. Someone that he can trust in and confide in. And he did that to him. Still hurt him. But let's go back. Let's go keep reading. 27 to 30.
And after the sop, Satan entered into him. Then said Jesus unto him, that thou dost do quickly. Now no man at the table knew for what intent he spake this unto him.
Mm-hmm.
For some of them thought because Judas had the bag
Mm-hmm.
that that Jesus had said unto him, buy those things that we have need of against the feast, or that he should give something to the poor.
Keep going to 30.
Okay. He then, having received the sop, went immediately out, and it was night.
So with the bread in hand, Judas is overtaken by Satan. Just like how the serpent in Genesis 3 deceived Eve and brought sin into the world. So Yahushua tells Judas to do his thing quickly. Get on out of there. He's got control even in this situation. Just like himself, because he was the one who told the serpent in Genesis 3 and 15. What did he tell him in 3 and 15? Let's go read it. Genesis 3 and 15. I know we read it last week, I think. But let's read it again to kind of drive this point home.
And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
Judas is of serpent seed. That's what it's saying. Judas is of the serpent seed. He's separating it. I will put enmity. This seed, serpent seed, gonna hate the seed of the woman, the ones who are following Christ. As you see today, you see all these people who worship the devil and everything. They hate us who worship Christ. That's that enmity. Same enmity that you see here with Judas and Jesus. You gotta hate that. You gotta hate somebody to go and sell them out for 30 pieces of silver. I mean, you gotta hate. I mean, you got to. You gotta have some level of enmity, some hatred toward another person to betray them for 30 pieces of silver. So we see this enmity that led all the way from the beginning, and it has continued to show even at this time here with Judas, and even then unto us in our time. So the disciples, they confused, but Judas knows what's up. And he leaves at night. Why does he leave at night? Because night is a symbol of what? Darkness, of sin that's about to go down. Similar to the spiritual darkness that fell on Egypt. Let's read about that darkness, fam. Go to Exodus 10, and we're going to read 21 to 23. Again, that's Exodus 10, 21 to 23 to see that spiritual darkness that fell on Egypt.
And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt.
Mm.
And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days.
Whew.
They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings.
So that same darkness, because the Most High, he was putting on plagues on them. But it was a symbolization of sin. Same way as this darkness here. That's why he said, and it was night. Because that's what darkness represents. You're either a child of the light, like the children of Israel were here. They had the light, and we all know who that light is, Christ. Or you are a child of the dark, Satan's seed, like Egypt was. You got to pick a side. You're either in the darkness or you in light. There is no in between. So choose wisely, I would say. So what does it mean for us here in 2023? What are these messages? What are these verses 21 and 30 mean for us here? Betrayal ain't new. It's been happening since the beginning of time. From the Garden of Eden to the streets of Jerusalem to the blocks of our own neighborhoods. Today, betrayal has been a thing forever. But remember, and this is what you got to understand, Most High is still in control. Just like he was in control when he told Judas, go out and do what you got to do. He was still in control. He told him to go out. Judas didn't go on his own accord. Yahushua told him, now go out and do what you got to do. Do it quickly. Get out of here. So even though there's darkness in your times, fam, even though you may go through some things, some troubles, Most High is still in control. Even when it looks like that darkness is winning, the Most High's got a plan. And just like the dawn that came after the darkness in Exodus, Yahushua's resurrection, it brought a new dawn after the darkness of betrayals. So we got to keep our faith, and we got to stay strong, and we remember that the sun always rises. It's never dark forever. Just like there's a night, there's always a day. That's what we must learn. Even though he was about to be betrayed, he was still in control because he knew what his sacrifice meant for his people. It meant a clean slate, a new covenant, a starting over, a new beginning. Because we were on the fast track to the lake of fire. But his blood, him shedding his blood, allowed us to what? It allowed us to repent, to get a new start, to start over and do this thing right. And even though we may stumble, even though there's darkness, the Most High still got a plan. That sun will always shine. That's what we must remember in this truth. This is what we got to remember. He's always in control. Never lose hope. Stay faithful. Stay strong in this truth. Keep your foundation solid. And how do you keep it solid, fam? I've been saying it all day. Read the word. Read the word. Keep your faith strong. The Most High got you. All you got to worry about is the big shit, the big stuff. Worry about the big stuff. Worry about the salvation. Let Most High take care of all the small, itty-bitty things. So let's finish this bad boy up, shall we? Back to John 13. We're going to read 31, 32.
Therefore, when he was gone out, Jesus said, now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him.
Yes, sir.
If God be glorified in him, God shall also glorify him in himself, and shall straightway glorify him.
So Judas bounces. He got out of there. He gone. Yahushua starts talking about glory here. And he's referring to what? His upcoming crucifixion. Now, some of y'all might be thinking, how is that glorious? Well, look at it like this. Yahushua's about to take one for the team. Big time. He's finna die for his people Israel. So we can be saved from our sins. That's the ultimate sacrifice. There is no more sacrifice greater than that. None. Zero. No matter what anybody else says. This is how you get saved from sins. Through this man right here, Yahushua HaMashiach. This is the ultimate sacrifice. There will never be a sacrifice greater than this in the history of this world. Never. He did it one time. There ain't no multiple sacrifices. He did it one time. Sacrifice for sins. He did it once. He ain't gonna keep dying for you. So you got to stay in this walk. And you can't go back willfully sinning. You got this truth, you don't go back to your own vomit. It's the same sort of glory that was foretold in the Old Testament in Isaiah. Well, let's go read about this glory in Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah 53 in verse 12 here. Again, that's Isaiah 53 in verse 12 to read more about this glory that he's about to have.
Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong. Because he hath poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors.
Now, who are these transgressors that Isaiah is talking about here? Put it in the chat. Who are these transgressors? Who is he making an intercession for? He says he's making an intercession for the transgressors. Who are these transgressors that that Isaiah is speaking about here? Put it in the chat if y'all know. When he says he's making an intercession for the transgressors, who are these transgressors? There you go. House of Israel. Israel. Yes, sir. It's all about Israel. We're the ones who transgress. How? Because we are the only ones who had the law. No other nation had the law. He died for us. How can he die for other people if they didn't have the law? How can their sins be forgiven when they don't have any sins technically because they didn't have any law? So when these nations are out there trying to say, oh, you know, he died for everybody, that is a false statement. For when he says he dies for many, that many is of Israel. You got to specify these things when you read the Bible. You can't keep it general. You can't keep it broad. You gotta narrow it down, or else other people gonna think you talk about them. We don't need that. We see what Christianity has done to people. They think everybody, this whole world, that Jesus died for. That is an incorrect statement. He did not die for the world. He didn't go to the world. He was in that one little strip of Judea. Where did he go? Where did he go and meet the other people? Does not tell you. He only talked to his own people. So we must get this. We must get this. We must get this. That's what he's saying. My people were transgressors, so I had to take off my divinity. I had to come down and be birthed into this world that I created. I got to be hated. I got to be whipped, scorned, and then I got to die. So these people who have transgressed against me can have a new beginning. So I don't send them to the lake of fire. That's the plan, people. That's the plan. We must understand these things. God is only dealing with one people, and one people only, Israel. Nobody else. This is what we must get. Our people love to put everybody else into this equation, but they're doing it to their own detriment. These people don't know him, and he don't know them. But it's through us that the Most High can get to know them. But they have to submit to Israel. They got to know who his people are. They got to love his people. In order for them to be saved, they got to love us. They got to come under our banner. They got to be joined to Israel. They got to be holding our legs. Just like that lady held on to Jesus' legs to get her daughter saved, that heathen did, that Gentile. They got to hold our legs to get to the kingdom. But you got to be humble to do that, and a lot of them are not, as you can see. But there are some behind the scenes who do acknowledge this, who do love us, and they're going to be in the kingdom with us. They will be our servants, but we will not treat them wrong. We will treat them righteously. Just as Jesus told us to teach each other love, we're going to treat them with love. So let's go back to John 13 and read 33 to 35.
Which one?
33 to 35.
All right.
John
Little
13.
children, yet a little while I am with you, ye shall seek me. And as I said unto the Jews, whither I go, ye cannot come. So now I say to you, a new commandment that I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another.
That is the whole point of this chapter. It took to the end to get to it, but it finally told you this is what it's all about. Love. It's about love. That's what it's about. Loving your brothers, loving him, loving your sisters. That's what this whole thing boils down to. Love. He says if they are one of my disciples, how would they know? If they have love for one another. Do you love your brothers? Do you love your sisters? Then that means you are a disciple of Yahushua HaMashiach. If you do not love your brothers, you do not love your sisters, you are not a disciple. Plain and simple. He make it easy. So easy for you to get. A lot of people say they love him, but they hate their own people. How can you now be a disciple of Jesus Christ? When he just said, if you are one of my disciples, you got to have love for one another. How can you say you love Jesus if you don't feed your people? How can you say you love Jesus if you don't clothe your people? How can you say you love Jesus when you don't love your people? Simple. He keep it simple. You can't follow him where he's going. Just like he told the same Jews in John 7:34. Let's read about it. He's telling them the same thing that he told the Jews back in John 7:34. Can't follow me.
John 7:34.
Correct.
Ye shall seek me and shall not find me. And where I am, neither ye cannot come.
He about to die and go back up to the throne. You can't come. Why? Because no man has ever ascended into heaven, to the third heaven. No man. You can't follow me. He's telling them, hey, I'm about to die. You can't follow me. But while I'm gone, I give you this commandment. Love one another. It's the same commandment that's been around since Leviticus, and it's the same verse that I got a revelation of today. Leviticus 19:18. Read it for me, brother, whenever you get there. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18. I got revealed about this, and it convicted my spirit.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
No matter what they did to you, you can't hold a grudge. You can't hate them. You got to love them like you love yourself. No matter what they did to you. See, that's the humble part. See, holding a grudge, that's pride. Most High said he want to test your heart. So he'll have somebody do something to you. You still going to love that person? That's what he's trying to tell you right here. No matter what they do to you, you love them. He knew Judas was going to betray him even before he got him as a disciple. But guess what? He still chose him, and he still treated him like a brother, even though he was going to betray him. You don't know if somebody's going to betray you. We don't have the same foreknowledge as Yahushua HaMashiach. We don't have that. So that's letting you know that even though he knew he was going to betray him, he still loved him. So that's telling you, even though somebody may do you wrong, you still love them. That's the principal point of it all. You still love them. And that's what was revealed to me earlier today. Because I wasn't showing that same exact love that he was talking about. And I had to repent. And I had to make things right. So this is the same thing for you. You may have people in your life that may have done you wrong. And you may have shut them out. You may have held a grudge against them. Most High is telling you, love them as you love yourself. You will bear no grudge against the people, your brothers, your sisters. No matter what they did to you, you still love them like you love yourself. That is a hard pill to swallow for most people. It was a hard pill to swallow for me. I can guarantee you that this morning. But I swallowed it, and I did what I had to do. And the Most High wants you to do the exact same thing if you have somebody in your life that has wronged you, that you hold a grudge to. Most High telling you to let it go. Let it go. Let bygones be bygones. Drop it. Let it go from the flesh so that it don't hinder your spirit. Let it go. That's what it's all telling you. That's what we got to do. This ain't no ordinary love. This is that Jesus love. It's that sacrificial love. The love that shows everyone who you rocking with. And that's Yahusha. You want to show Yahusha? You rocking with him? Love your people. Serve your people. Be humble. Do what I ask you to do. That's how you know somebody is with Yahusha. Is when they're doing those things. Not just being a hearer of the word, but a doer of the word also. So let's finish up the rest of these verses and let's call it a day. 36 to 38, fam. Let's get it.
Simon Peter said unto him, Lord, whither goest thou? Jesus answered him, Whither I go, thou cannot follow me now,
Saying,
but thou shalt follow me afterwards. Peter said unto him, Lord, why can I follow thee now? I will lay down my life for thy sake. Jesus answered him, Wilt thou lay down thy life for my sake? Verily, verily, I say unto thee, the cock shall not crow till thou hast denied me thrice.
Peter's confused, man. What? He ready to ride out for the Most High right now. He ready. Just like he said in Matthew 16 and 16. Let's go read it. Matthew 16 and 16. Let's go see how bold Simon Peter was.
And Simon Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God.
That's what he said. He was ready. He knew he knew who this man was, and he was ready to lay his life down for him. But the Most High knew what was up. He ain't no dummy. He know Peter gonna deny him. How? Well, just like it said in Zechariah 13 and 7. Let's go read that. Let's go read that prophecy that came true. Again, that's Zechariah 13 and verse 7.
Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. I will turn mine hand upon the little ones.
Who is this shepherd that's finna be smited? Right here, Yahusha. You smite him, scatter all the sheep. That's how Peter denied him. Yahusha knows Peter's not ready to make that sacrifice yet, but one day he will. So what does this got to do with us, fam? What does these verses got to do with us? Well, let me tell you. Sometimes we think we're ready for something, but we're not. We bold as a lion, but the Most High knows our heart inside. He knows. Just like he knew it in Peter. Peter was like, I'm ready to die for you, Lord. I'm ready to die. Most High said, you're going to deny me, bruh. You're going to deny me 3 times. We think we're ready, but we're not. Because we have to trust in the Most High's timing, not ours. See, we want to do something so bad, whatever it is in our life, so bad, but it ain't time for it. And we got to understand that. The Most High has his own timing. He don't go by our time. He got his own watch that he's going by. So we got to always trust in his timing. And whenever he does something, whenever it's time for him to do something, it's always on time. So when it comes to representing this Yahushua HaMashiach we're reading about, it ain't about talking a big game. What is it about? What is it truly about? It's about showing love to others. It's not running the mouth, flapping your gums. It's about serving your people. It's about loving your people, accepting your people, even if they did wrong to you. This is what it's about. That's the mark of a true disciple. That's what this chapter should have taught you today. It's like that old saying, actions speak louder than words. So what we got to do, we got to keep it 100. And we got to let our actions do the talking in this day and age. And with that, I end my lesson. All praise to the Most High Yah. I hope you guys were spiritually edified today, as I was in teaching you. I leave the floor to you. If you guys have any extra things you want to say, then